Welcome to Bridging the Gap. I'm your host, Audra Carter. Bridging the Gap aims to inspire and empower unity in our community. Our topic for today is the Community Maritime Park. Yep, and I have some fabulous guests. We have Quint Studer, Darnell Sims, and Pastor Hugh. You know, I can truly say for those of you out there, I've tried to be at every Community Maritime Park meeting, and many of the people who worked on the marketing campaign are still engaged, supporting this effort. So you got a great synergy, and I think you're absolutely right. All of you, we need to speak to our community because what they're saying is, did they really come together on that, Quinn? Did we really carry the ball?
I can see why they think that. I think you're all, that we cannot let this opportunity go by it. We're also, I would say to somebody, if you're watching this show and you have a skilled trades or you want to have a skilled trades, sometimes you get training and you say, I got my training, but I didn't have a job. Mm-hmm. I told some people at the school district, you can almost guarantee people, if you have a good attitude and you're willing to go for training, there'll be good jobs out there. And now, how somebody's watching TV.
The chamber's number.
And let's be clear why that is. A lot of times in efforts, you got 1,000 different people telling you what to do. And since this is so important, and we do have a short time frame in which to assess our community, we need people to come through one source only because it just makes sense. Right. And it's the best way to thoroughly assess to get you in the system so that we can call. And I found out yesterday there was a number of different free scholarships for education, just like this. And normally when you give scholarships out, you can't guarantee that student is going to get through, so they drop through. And that's one of the reasons why the institutions have had such a hard time finding a workforce. Mm-hmm. I've talked to the pastors, and many of them in this town have agreed that we're going to take onus. The pastor is going to take ownership of their students and other students in the community and actually support them. So if you're a young man and you've had kids and you need babysitting because you're trying to be a family member and you want to get off the streets, your pastor in church is going to get out there and support you, and other organizations. I mean, anything they need, transportation. I think there was ECAT was involved in a conversation with the Gulf Coast Chamber about that. We want to take down every barrier there is, except for like Quint said, the attitude. Right. Okay, getting up now, getting up to we can take you to the water, but there's nothing that should keep people from being involved. There's no barriers there whatsoever, and like Quint said, we have 1,500 jobs. Somebody's going to get the jobs in this whole community, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian. And we must speak to that so that people don't feel like they're excluded.
Yeah, one of the things that numerous projects come downtown and throughout the area.
I was thinking the other day, Reverend, if you take a year from now and you have 1,500 people going down to work on that site every day, think about what the restaurants will do, the gas stations will do, all the stores, and then then you get living, then you get people bringing back and going to that west side. This is really opening up the west side of Pensacola, which has sometimes not been opened in the past.
And one of the things that from the chamber standpoint, building wealth.
And for those of you out there, the system that we're going to use, because it takes technology to make sure that we can contact you, is going to be very important when you call the chamber, that you give them your name and address and phone number. They're creating a database management system, right. And we need to talk about the beauty of that.
Well, and
Welcome to Bridging the Gap. I'm your host, Audra Carter. Bridging the Gap aims to inspire and empower unity in our community. Today's topic is Pathways for Change. My guests are Jack O'Brien He's a program manager, LaTonna Jennings. She's a case manager, and a client, Jason Cassiano. Welcome to Bridging the Gap, and happy holidays to all of you. This is a time where I thought it would be great to have a program that actually is all about change. And as you know, we are a country going through change. And I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to hear about a program that's really, really, really unique. And I'm going to ask Jack to tell us, what is Pathways for Change?
Pathways for Change is an 18-month faith-based therapeutic community. Anyone that's assigned to this community is assigned by a judge and committed to change.
I understand that the program has to be a program where the people actually want to go. I mean, it can't be a forced thing. It has to be where the individual is agreeing to go through the 18-month program. Is that true?
That's true.
And
But all of the offenses deal with addiction, drug addiction or alcohol addiction.
drug addiction. Okay. Is that because of the structure of the funding, or is it because that's a real need in our community?
It is not only a need, it's probably a major challenge in the community. We know that the recidivism rate in Florida is 68%, which means within 3 years, these people are going to be back in prison. At least 68% of them will be back in prison. So I think it's a community challenge to take this on. Our recidivism rate is 8%. So obviously there's some success to the approach that we use.
Now, I was going to say there are a lot of programs similar to this, and yet we do really have a problem with people who have some type of addiction and then they're going back. So what makes your program really unique is, what makes it unique?
Well, these men are incarcerated straight for 6 months. And what we do is recognize that there is a problem, determine the cause of that problem, and eliminate it through a process. There's a very rigid standard associated with this program. They start at 6:30 in the morning, and it doesn't finish till 9:30 at night. They do not sit around and watch television. They're receiving very intense instruction and counseling and group counseling.
Because I know that you know that women have equally, if not more of a challenge with many different types of addictions. And I'm going to get back to talking about that in a minute. LaTonna, I have seen you, you do many things in the community. I was just so very excited to hear that you are a caseworker with this program, and I understand you've been on board. Tell me what that is like.
It's actually, it's a wonderful thing. It's a blessing for me, for certain. As a case manager with the program, my goal is really to help them to make the transition from being in the program to getting back into life when they get out of the program. You know, like Jack said, these men come into the program with substance abuse issues that they need to deal with, but most of the time that's compounded by other issues. They have, you know, they have families, they have wives, they have children, they have, you know, bills that they got to pay. They have all the same responsibilities we do, and all those things are waiting for them when they get out.
Right.
So what I want to do is try to make that transition a little bit easier for them, to help them put some of those things in place so that they can be successful when they leave. We do a lot of really rigorous programming with them. They're learning a lot over the many weeks and months that they're in the program. And a lot of that is geared towards the preparations for things that they're going to do later. So there's budgeting and relationships and parenting and things like that that they're learning. So just helping them to navigate that all, put it all together and make a nice package when they leave.
You know, I had an opportunity to actually tour and sit down and talk to some of the clients, and I have a client with us here today, and he's going to tell the story. But I can say to many of you, a program isn't a program without the essence of the visionaries, and Jack does an excellent job. He was saying off camera, he said, I don't mind doing things, but I have so much to do. I mean, you take me out of my element because there's so much work to be done. And you talked about a rigorous program. I want, for those of you out there, to think about, why is it that every minute of the day has to be accounted for to get true transformation? Because it sounds like this program is all about making people know that they're purposeful in their everydays so they can move in and out and navigate, if you will, through or bridge the gaps from where they are to where they want to be. So with Jason here, Jason, tell me, how long have you been in the program and how did you get to do what you're doing?
Been in the program for about 7 months now. And how did I get here?
Yeah, well, how did you get to do what you're doing? You do a specific task, but you can share with us, how did you get here? I mean,
Well, I got a DUI last year, and the courts put me on probation for that, and I kept doing the same things and was trying to get different results doing the same things, and it just didn't work out. It never will.
Yeah, there's some kind of law,
Right.
Murphy's law, some kind of law that says you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same result. So
Right.
what about the program helped to transform your actions?
Well, first of all, it opened my eyes to help me realize kind of a no-brainer, but the way that I was living was unacceptable, and I accepted that. And then we take the program gives us the tools to, step by step, work out of that and realize what you need to do to be successful in life, and we just work on that.
Now, are you single, married?
I'm single.
Okay, so your transition to when you get out is to?
Remain single.
Well, not so much that. Okay, well, what kind of future are you looking for besides remaining single?
Well, I'm looking probably to get into school.
And do?
And I haven't really looked into it yet. I'm just kind of, right now I have about 5 months left in the program, so I have about 5 months left.
So, it's a good thing that LaTanya is there, because she's gonna tell you all about that. Trust me, there's many, many, many wonderful programs out there, George Stone and PJC, and they just really have a great need in the community now to do a lot of things. So the opportunities are enormous. I just want you to know that I'm really happy that you guys now have a caseworker, because that transition between where you are and where you want to be is probably the bridge that you end up walking across. Jack was telling me you're doing something wonderful for the community. You guys did a program for a really nice lady. Tell us about that.
Yes, ma'am. Like he was telling you, we have 6 months that's incarceration. It's the first 6 months in the program is lockdown, and there's a bunch of classes we take during that. And then through months 6 through 9, we have a community service program. And the guys, we go out 4 days a week, and we work for elderly people, sick people. We do all kinds of projects. Every day it's something different. It's really rewarding because we're able to give back to a community we've taken away from. And this woman in particular you're speaking about, she has cancer. Her and her husband divorced. She lives by herself. She's on a fixed income. She doesn't have anyone to help her. And we went over there and spent a whole day with her in her yard and just totally transformed her house, and she's so thankful. And it's really rewarding to us, too, to be able to do something like that and then have someone thank us. And it's, at this point, it's just like, well, thank you for thanking us, because that's what we're here to do,
Yes, it's, we were talking about something in that giving, since we're in a giving season. What is it, Jack? What is it when they can do something like this and it helps to transform them?
Well, that's the word, transformation. You see, when they come into the program, the first 3 months, we work on changing their behavior.
Right.
Teach them how to be a gentleman. Actually, the thrust of the course is building men.
Building men.
Building men. Mm-hmm. Then the next 3 months, we work specifically on the addiction. And in that time frame, they also, those that do not have education, we have a professor from PJC come in and help them with their GED. Then the third 3 months is when we pay back to the community. you understand that Escambia County, wait, the 18th month.
You know, I think about what people can give during this holiday season, and I can't think of a better pathway to 2009 than giving, and these men have an opportunity to give back. My question then is, how does the program, because there are many different programs, and I have to, think about, you got to tell me one thing that makes the rate of return lower than most programs.
Well, I think it's the intensity and the regimentation. They learn for the first time in their life you can be successful if you're scheduled. So they have to plan the use of available time. That's the bigger part of the process. Being able to plan their time and to be scheduled.
Well, how do you get them to feel good? And you help me with this, Latanya, because you have a lot of experience with dealing with change and addiction, and how you help a community become more self-sufficient. And how do they, what is it that they get differently in this program that they don't get at home, or that they wouldn't get if there wasn't in the program? Because I'm sure that the viewers out there saying, okay, pathway to change, there's court designated, they have to have a choice to go in. Well, why is this one working and other ones aren't working quite so well? Help us.
A couple of things come to mind when you say that. One is the passion of the people who operate the program. Jack, myself, our executive director, everyone who works in the program is very, very passionate about their work, very serious about their work, and very committed to it. So when we come into work, there's not that sense of people that are just doing a job. We value what we do. We're willing to put the time and the effort in to get the education, the materials, whatever we need to bring a good quality program to these men and have their outcomes be good. The second part of it that I think is incredibly important is that it's a faith-based program. And that's part of the reason why the gentlemen who choose to be a part of it have that choice, because they are also choosing to work on their spiritual growth as well as their addiction. And I think that in and of itself makes the program beautiful.
And I think Jack really is very humble sitting here, because the day that I was with him, he taught me things when he went through the regimen. I mean, he taught me things by the way he handled me to get me to understand. I had the opportunity to talk to, 2 clients, was it 2 or 3?
Yeah.
2 clients, and they convinced me. I mean, they had me in tears about where they are and where they can be. And I think about the giving that they do. So for the people who are out there who really need help with their yards and, putting up barns and painting this and painting that, how can they become a part of this giving that these gentlemen do?
Well, it's not just doing the laborious part of it. They can give they need to pray for this operation, that this is caught in the community, but it also is something that we can franchise and take not only to this community, but to other communities and statewide, and it could become a national movement.
Now you said something, because during this holiday season, there are a lot of things. Self-control and discipline is a key to not overeating, not drinking too much, not drinking and driving, not being abusive to your family member during the holidays because of the economics of it all. That's a biggie. I mean, for us who are not in the program, we have to think about choices every day. But you're saying that this program gives them that balance and fills those gaps in understanding that didn't probably get in the upbringing.
Well, that's true. But what we're talking about is teaching them how to lead a disciplined life so that they are givers, not takers.
Ooh.
Another way of giving is we need men, strong men in the community
Yes.
And I tell our men to get in the habit of running with the horses. If you hang around with good people, they'll pull you right up with them.
Right.
And vice versa, if you go the other direction, you'll suffer the consequence of that. So we need men to volunteer to come in and shoulder with these men that are trying to grow and develop and become taxpayers.
Yes.
We just need that sort of camaraderie to infuse this challenge that we put in front of them to be their best self.
You are absolutely right. Do you know most of the households are manless, and most of the men are incarcerated.
You know, so we need community. We need that giving spirit to come in and help. We need money. We need to start a women's program. I mean, there's so many things out there. We're just going to continue the march and do what we have to do. But the more people that get involved with it, the bigger it is, the better it is, and the community benefits.
So if someone is out there and they would really like to give to the program, clothes, you know, they just feel led, how should they contact you and what should they do?
They can contact us. Our phone number is 202-0028. They can come by and talk to us and take a tour of the facility. They can, you know, just be innovative in their own mind as to how to support. We don't necessarily need clothes. We need money to support the endeavor.
Yeah, it's important that you say that. You said that there was a huge in-kind being given to make sure that the program functioned, over $1 million?
There's over $1 million of in-kind help. People, we have quality professional people donating their time to come in and teach and train. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have other notables in the community that come in and give their all to support this endeavor. It's encouraging to see that. But we're not satisfied. We have 25 people incarcerated right now. We'd like to have 300. There is enough out there to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And if we could put this package together and get some support, it could expand and you would see a change in the community. And who is causing the change is the community.
And you guys, and Pathway for Change, and the program is helping to cause a change in the community. Anytime you take people in who are addicted to whatever, and then they're transformed and they're better than they were before they came in, then you put them out in the community to be a light. And wouldn't you say that from henceforth you're going to be a light, Jason?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Definitely.
And especially you're going to be a man, an example of a man walking in the community. Children need good men and well-meaning men to look up to. And now you know how important you are to all of us, particularly homeless homes that do not have a father in them. So it's very important that you figure out what you want to do and go do it and then come back. Do these gentlemen come back and help once they get out?
Yes, that happens. Yes,
Tell me about
they're
that.
very faithful. We have an alumni, and we have planned to have a meeting once a month, and they come back from time to time and sit in on the group sessions, and they're able to enhance what is being taught by speaking of their experience and how challenging it is to go back outside. It's easy when you're incarcerated to follow the rules.
Yeah.
But when you get back out in the marketplace, that's when the challenge comes. And they come back and explain that to these guys so they don't get cocky and think they can just walk out there and it's going to be smooth and easy. It's tough. Life is tough.
Tanya, you got to have a vision for what this might look like. I know that you guys want to increase it from 25 to more. And see, one of my frustrations, because I sit on a lot of boards and I see a lot of money going out from the county and the city and many other organizations, is that there's a small amount of people, but the need is so
Right.
great.
Yes.
You know, you could say 25 chosen people, but we got 2,500. How do we get, help me with the vision, like where do we go, how do we get there, where more people are getting access to these services?
Well, it's not so much having the package or having the training schedule or the talent to put that together. It's the funding to space and the space to house them. If we had that, we could take as many as you have. We could take the unlimited number with the staff that we have.
And what would you say, Latanya?
I would say we need the community to be aware of who we are and what we're doing, and we need them to buy into it like we have. You cannot go into the doors of that building without being transformed yourself. When I was looking for where I was going to do my internship, it was a no-brainer for me instantly. When I just, I already had a passion for the type of work that I was looking to do, but when you see the program and you see the people and their commitments to the program, and you see these men who have volunteered, some of them who could have gotten, lighter sentences or less time if they would have chosen something else, but they chose to make the commitment to be in this program. And you look at what they're doing. We incarcerate people a lot.
Yeah.
And we put them in a box, we put them in a room, we close the door, we come back in 6 months, a year, 5 years, whatever, open the door back up and let them out. How does that change anything? But what we're doing with these men is we're giving them a structure and a program and a way of living their life. And we're telling them, hey, we need you. We need you as, like Jack said, we need you as strong men in our community. We need you as strong men in our churches. We need you as strong men in our households. How are we going to get you there? How can we work together to get you there? So we value them. We realize that maybe they're in a hard way. Any of us we're one step away from that ourselves, but we value who they are and what they can contribute if we can help them. And that's what we really need, is for other people to come in, take a look, and recognize that this is very possible. And if they can believe in it like we believe in it, then we'll get the support that we need to grow the program.
So we encourage people to call that number and come in and see the program. For individuals who might need their yards done, would they call that number as well?
No. What we do is work through Clean and Green and churches and deal strictly with those that are incapacitated.
Okay.
We're just not going to go out and work for someone who has it within himself to do the job. We're taking care of people that need help.
Wow. We thank you for doing this program, and we thank you for coming and sharing what it has done for you. For those of you out there, there are programs that are like this, but like Latanya said, unless the community acknowledges it and actually understands its place in the community to transform, it's hard to get funding. So by all means, go by it. Where is it located up quickly?
It's located 1211 West Fairfield Drive. It is the Work Release Building. It's where the old Bailey's Farmers Market used to be.
Yeah, it's a blue building on the corner of Fairfield and what?
It's on Fairfield.
It's right there on Fairfield. You can't miss it.
Right next to the health department.
Right, there you go. Right next to the health department. We want you to go by and visit and see what is actually going on there. I was very impressed with Pathway for Change. Also, Connie Bookman, we want to thank her for being she's a serious director that's out there directing people this way. And of course, bridge the gap in the community in the holiday. And we thank all of you for listening. But, it's hard. If you want information about Pathway for Change, please browse the website at www.pathwaysforchange. And that's all the time we have for now. This program airs on WUWF-TV Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m., Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Friday at 8 p.m. Plus, you can hear more voices on Bridging the Gap radio station, WRNE Radio. And thank you very much for being here with me today. Thank you guys for being here.